Mary, could you give me a little sense of your background professionally and where you are today?
Absolutely. I've been in the health plan business for well over 20 years. I consider myself a health plan junkie, so to speak. Uh, and I've worked in leadership roles, some national, some local. I'm a California native, so I've done a lot of work on the West Coast. I've also worked for several startups in the healthcare space, both early stage and mid stage companies. So I understand the dynamics of healthcare, both from large companies and from those trying to get into the space.
Great. So I understand you did some ThinkX one-on-one coaching and you also used the E system. What brought you to that? What was the impetus?
Great. Well, some former colleagues of mine are doing some work with ThinkX, specifically Chris and Gary. And um, I am really looking to make some transition in my career. I've been fortunate in that I've had tremendous success from a very early age in my career, which again, I'm lucky for that. But I really want to think about the next 15 to 20 years and what I'm looking for to make sure that I can contribute my best, but I can also develop in the way I want to develop going forward. I've been through tremendous amounts of executive coaching in different ways, but this feels more personal for me, which is great.
So talk to me a little bit when you say you've been through other executive coaching. How would you compare those experiences with the ThinkX one?
So again, there's a lot of good coaching programs out there. I found ThinkX to be much more specific, much more actionable, and it felt very personalized. So I didn't feel like I was being put in a box of, well, you fit in this category, and you're always going to behave like that. I felt it was very personalized, with some really concrete examples to understand my performance, both professionally and personally, and then how I could shift my performance and my thinking to respond more effectively.
That's cool. Is there a particular examples of, let's start on the professional side, things that you've noticed that really have changed as a result of the coaching?
Yeah, so fortunately for me, I've always been ranked fairly highly as a leader. What I found was different with ThinkX is it really helped me understand how other people respond based on their different, prototypes. Again, if they're high systematic, I found ways that I can engage people differently. And because the work I did with my coach was very much, please give examples of what you've done. So it was great. I could say, here's something I've struggled with or I've been frustrated with, and it's this person. And I fell into the trap of wanting to put them in a box. Once I understood kind of what was going on with them, my coach really helped me with some tools to specifically ask better questions and engage them differently. Um, and understand where they were coming from so that I could meet them where they are and engage them differently so that they feel valued and they're bringing out their best selves at work, either through performance or just, daily interactions and how you influence others.
That's great. That's great. What about, you mentioned you got a lot of personal benefit. Any examples that you've noticed change since the coaching?
Absolutely. And I would tell you one of the ahas for me personally is I am very self-critical, and I have some negative wiring. And it was really helpful. Stacy one helped me to identify that, to understand where my thinking was negative, and to really shift how I was thinking, which I'll be honest, I was a little bit skeptical and maybe even intimidated by in the beginning, like, oh, rewire your thinking. Ooh. But it was really a good experience. And I'm finding that it's become a tool that I can continue to leverage, where I now can catch myself more quickly, and I can shift not only my thoughts, but it really leads to behavior changes. The example I'll give you is exercise. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I've been changing my thoughts, just even saying my body loves to move, and I do it as I'm walking, or I do it while I'm on the elliptical, and I can stand it longer. So it's an improvement.
I love that. I'll definitely take that thought shift with me today myself. Any particular advice you give to somebody who may be a little skeptical about coaching one-on-one with a system? Anything that you would kind of give them as words of wisdom?
I would say keep an open mind. I really, and again, I've been through at least 15 types of assessments and coaching opportunities, either in large group settings or individually. I really found this one to be the most effective I've come across, because